All right, I guess we are live right now. Shalom, everybody. Please invite your friends. And today we have a very important topic. Actually, we'll talk about many things. But as a start, before we talk about Hizb Allah, we want to talk about destiny. I have a little conversation with one of the admins. You know, some people believe in Calvinism, and some, which mean they believe in a predestiny. How many of you here believe in predestiny? Is my voice coming good? All right. How many here they believe in a predestiny? Like, you know, you predestiny to do sin, predestiny, you know. What do you think? Do you believe in a predestiny that your sin is already decreed for you by God and you have to do it? Or you believe in a free will? Sadly, you know, there are some Christians, they take verses from the Bible and they try to, they do the same as the Muslims, you know, and they try to bend verses to fit with their understanding. But just to make it simple, if you believe in a predestiny, obviously you don't believe that God is justice. How many of you here believe that God is just and he is all about justice? Do you believe in that? That God is just and he is all about justice? So if I am a person who believe in a predestiny, where is justice in that? Why I want to go to hell for something I did not choose to do? So I don't want to go and discuss and debate with those people who claim there is a predestiny. And they will say to you, it says in the Old Testament that God, he loved Jacob, he hate Esau. This has have nothing to do really with the predestiny. God, he knew the future. God, he can read your mind. God, he can know, he knew who was going to be righteous, who was not going to be righteous. And destiny of a nation to be good and destiny for a nation to be bad, this is a false teaching, because all of us, we knew that Israel themselves, the Jews themselves, they went so bad many times. Is that correct? Like the first thing you ask yourself, for those silly people who believe in a predestiny, are you saying to me that the Jews who refuse to believe in Jesus, they are predestined not to believe in him? So, you know, you do not need to debate about it with verses. It's a very silly actually, to say such a thing. And you know, God, he chose us before he chose you, the Bible says. Yes, God, he chose people, for sure. God, he chosen Moses to speak to him. But Moses can choose not to listen to God. God, he chose Adam. He created Adam, the only one man. There is no other person, you know. But yet Adam refused to obey God. You know, I mean, he will go, he wasn't chosen. I mean, God, he chose to make a man. This is the first man. How more chosen you can be? Still, Adam, the word Adam means a human. Adam, in the beginning of in the Old Testament, the word Adam described to Eve, the man and the woman, Eve and Adam. But then Adam became like the man, you know, he is the man, and Eve is the woman. But the word Adam is a human, the human being. So from the beginning of the time, human being, he have a free will to obey or not to obey. So if you are a stupid like the Muhammadan, who believe that Adam, he commits sin because it was decree, then I guarantee you, you are a Muslim and you are a fool. For this is a very bad movie. You know, there is a director, you know, he wrote what the actor will say. And then, but the difference between this movie and religion, that supposedly there is hell and there is heaven. So why anyone will be rewarded if it was a decree anyway? And why anyone will be punished if it was a decree anyway? So the idea of a decree is just a silly idea. And we have tons of verses in the Bible proving to us that this is all false. Like when they say to you, God, he hate Esau and he loved Jacob. But does that mean that, and the people of Esau's after him, they are bad and they are wicked? But we know that there is millions of the people of Esau's right now, they are Christians. Anyone remember the story of the Aramaic women who spoke to Jesus? Anyone remember her? The women who came begging Jesus to do a miracle for her. The women, she said to him, even dogs, they eat from the crumb of their masters. Well, is she from the chosen people? No. But did Jesus bless her and bless her faith? Yes. Was she destined to believe? No. So be careful and not to be, don't be foolish. Foolishness will lead you into a destiny. The destiny of a foolish land. So don't be foolish. And if you are a person, want to go and believe in destiny, well, Calvinism is very wrong. And I believe, you see, the Bible says clearly that philosophy is not right. Philosophy is bad. This is just a philosophy. Don't place yourself instead of God and says things is not there. If we ask anyone right now, was Jacob a 100% perfect good man? Or even Jacob, he was doing bad things? Anyone here believe that Jacob? Like, okay, God loved Jacob, he hate Esau, but is Jacob is a good man anyway? Was he the perfect man? No. The Bible confirmed that all men are sinners, and this is why they need God. They need his mercy. So if all men are sinners, because God decreed for us to be sinners, then God is a joke. So be careful, don't mix yourself with with the Muslims. This is what the Muslims believe. And to make it simple for you, anyone will come here, he is more than welcome. But I am not here to push any idea of someone is a Protestant or Catholic. The second you say to me you are Protestant or a Catholic, I will kick you out. You are not welcome. I welcome here people who follow Jesus, who they are proud of him, not of themselves, who they choose the name of Jesus to be their name. And Jesus said, not Christian Prince, not Matt Slick, not Sam Shamoon. Jesus said, not everyone says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of my Father, but the one who does his will. So the condition is so clear, and the destiny is demolished. The reason not everyone will go to heaven, even those they call Jesus God, because they are doing their own will, which means you have your free will. And your own will, not the will of God, it's when it is opposing God. But if your will is agreement with God, then you are doing the right thing. So if my will is in agreement with God and not to fornicate, well, my will is the will of God. If my will is not to steal, to kill, to murder, to lie, to rape, etc., then my will is in total agreement with the will of God. So saying you are a Catholic or a Protestant or Orthodox, does not make you Christian. Believe in a predestiny is an insult to God. It's an absolute insult. Actually, it's a clear sign of foolishness, because obviously you do not know what Jesus is talking about. The second you believe in a predestiny, that means God is not really God, he is Satan. So like now the Muslims want to kill the Christians because God he destined for the Muslims to kill the Christians. Is that right? And I am sure they will go to a verse from the Bible that says, okay, yeah, they say that says here the children he will be a wild man and etc. blah blah blah. Always they will find something. But this is a prophecy about the future. But it's not only the children of Ishmael, they are wild men. I mean, didn't you hear what the white man did? How many wars they went to go through? What kind of bombs they're using? Are they from Ishmael? No. When the African, they captured the whole nation of Israel, are they from the children of Ishmael? No. When the Japanese, they invaded China and they raped millions of women and killed a lot of people, and Korean and Filipinos, they are children of Israel. So when they want, they take a verse and they are the same as the Muslims. They dress the verse, the suit, which is suit them. Are you with me? I don't want to hear people saying Calvinism anti-Christians. I think I'm going to start to block people and ban people, even if they are admins. I'm not saying Calvinists is not Christians. I'm saying this is wrong understanding. So don't be stupid. Christian is anyone who believes in Jesus as Savior. And he believes that he is saved through the Lord. If you have a wrong understanding of verses here and there, that is a wrong understanding, does not make him not a Christian. You will not be a Christian if you believe that your Savior is not the Messiah, if you don't believe in the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, if you believe in other scriptures other than the Bible, like the Book of Mormon or Jehovah's Witnesses, if you believe like Jesus is an angel, or he is a messenger, or like Muslims. So Christians, they can disagree about certain points. But I'm trying to make it for you easy to understand. If you believe that God is a God of justice, and there's tons of verses in the Bible about how just he is, then you should not believe in anyone trying to explain to you in false way. This is his understanding. Doesn't mean he's a bad man. This is his understanding. But don't you have your brain? Don't insult your Lord. Jesus said, if you did not become like those little ones who? The children, right? You will not enter the kingdom of my Father. So when somebody say predestiny, that every baby is born sinner, no, he's not born sinner. That's not right. He's born of a family of sin. The parents commit sin. The grandfather Adam, yeah. I mean, when we say we inherit sin, that's mean we go back. This is what the original sin is about. If not Adam committed sin, nobody will be out. So we are out of heaven because of first man and first woman who commit sin. But doesn't mean if you are out of heaven you should commit sin. But it's proven that every human being commits sin. However, between those who commit sin, there is people who they are the best of us. We call them, there's many names of them. You call them disciple, you call them saints, you call them messengers, you call them whatever you want to call them. So there is people who they are better than others. Like when we say, we are equal. We are equal. God created us to be equal. In theory, yes. In reality, no. God created us equal. He gave us all everything we need. But the quality of the person is his own decision. So, by kind, you are equal as a human. But by deeds, you are not. You know, when Abraham, how Abraham, how Abraham became a believer? Like God chose Abraham, or Abraham chose God? It was a destiny for Abraham to become a believer. Isn't it his people, they are pagan? So if it is destiny by God for them to be pagans, well, this is not fair. And if it's destiny for Abraham to be a believer, he's the only one who believed, that's not fair too. Where is justice in that? But Abraham, the Bible says that the act of Abraham, of faith, he believed in God, that is considered as an act of righteousness. Believing in God, that counted for him as an act of righteous. So be careful and remember that justice and God goes together, and destiny is against God's justice. It's against the nature of God. There is only like a little form of destiny in Christianity, which is the penalty. As an example, if you are a person who commits sin, God said, if you don't do this and this, you go to hell. And if you do this and this, you go to heaven. So we can say this is a destiny, but this is the destiny not of you as a person, individual. That is a destiny of judgment, which means you have a free will where you go, but there is no other choices. There's no third place. So destiny here is not a decree of you where you are going to go. Is a decree what is the reward and what is the penalty. The decree is the reward is heaven, living with the Lord, eternal life, and the hell is a decree of those who they are going to be disobeying him. There is no third choice. Can you make it three? No. So be careful and be vigilant. And if there is a nation is cursed, if you believe in that, when somebody take a verse from the Bible, they say to you, like about Ishmael, first of all, none of those Hamas are from Ishmael. The Arab, they are not from Ishmael. All those stupid priests who say to you the Arab are from Ishmael, they are donkeys. Just ask them where they get this from. Show me the verse in the Bible that says so. Ishmael is an Egyptian, from Egyptian women. His father is an Aramaic. His mother, she took him back to his homeland and she married him from an Egyptian woman. Is that correct? That's what the Old Testament says. So if he is a son, like imagine I am, let us say, a German, and then I marry a Japanese, and then my son is from Finland. So not everyone who claims to be priest is a priest. They keep repeating this in every church. Almost, I can assure you, 90% of the churches in the world, they think that the Arab are the children of Ishmael. And this is what they teach in their churches. And because nobody challenged them to say to them, show us where you get this from. Where it says that the Arab, first of all, Arab is not even an ethnic. Arab is an Aramaic word meaning desert. Arabian is a desert man. There is no ethnic. Anyone who live in the desert, his hair did not take a shower for a year, you know. Simply, you know, like the word Arab actually is used by the Aramaic as an insult. It's like when somebody say gypsy or somebody say barbarian. It's just to describe someone is savage, someone he don't take shower, someone he is not clean, someone he is not civil. But by time, because the word is the word of ignorance, and ignorant are in the front, in the stage, and they are the ones holding the microphones. They teach ignorance, and now people think that there is a nation like those people in, they call them Palestinian, but the first question you ask them, what even word Palestinian mean? Palestinian mean foreigners. Okay, so how they are from that land? Why their name is foreigners? Migrants, immigrants. And if they are Palestinian, why they are not speaking Palestinians? The Palestinians are very, they are different ethnic. They have nothing to do with those Arab. Those are Arab. They speak Arabic. Ask anyone from Hamas. What is your ethnic? They say an Arab. And the Arab themselves, they are confused. They think the Arab is an ethnic too. Anyway, so don't copy paste what people say. Whatever anyone he says to you, including me, go check it out, search it, study it, grab reference, try to put the word together, the dots together, so you can have a better map of the story. Then you can come to a conclusion. All right? Now we want to go and talk about Hizb Allah. This is the leader of Hizb Allah, as you see here in the screen. He have an occasion in Beirut, Lebanon. And everyone who enter, he don't appear like, he speak on TV, like they put a big screen. He don't dare even to show himself, because the Israeli will kill him immediately. You will see in the screen here, the green ticket, it says that the direction, Palestine al-Quds, Palestine, Jerusalem. In red, it says, Tadhkara ila al-Quds, a ticket to Jerusalem. Underneath, in the black, it says, the blood will fruit victory, and we are coming. We are going to cross. And then there is a code you can scan, and this will take you to an organization of the terrorists if you like to join them, so you can join the trip. The first thing, come to my mind as a Middle Eastern who grew up in the Middle East, and I know those terrorist groups very well. I know how coward they are. I know how much noise they make. I know they don't respect a human being life. I know that they hide, they hide, and their kids, they die. I know everything about them. But what I could not believe, that somebody, like now you printed this ticket. This was yesterday. So yesterday was April 6, 2024. When Nasrallah and Hizb Allah are going to cross Jerusalem? Any Muslim can tell me? I mean, aren't you ashamed of your stupidity? You are saying you will go to Jerusalem since the first day Jerusalem is taken from you. And by the way, Jerusalem does not belong to you. You took it by sword. By the sword, you lost it. Is that correct, people? This is not their land. They have nothing to do with it. Even their city stupid Mohammed, he confirmed that this is the land of the Jews. So the Jews did not take a land from you. This is their land. It's you who took it from them. You might say we took it from the Roman. Doesn't matter. Still, it is their land. For me, when I see those Hizb Allah in Iran, I believe strongly that Iran is using Israel as a ticket to become a leader between the Muslims. They are using Israel as a ticket to spread Shiaism. And I believe strongly Iran will never dare to attack Israel. Look, just 2 days ago, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, Israel attacked the embassy in Damascus. And this is pictures from the embassy where there was a meeting between a group of terrorist leaders, a Jihad al-Islami, it's a terrorist group, who they are Shia who live in Gaza area, territory, and in the West Bank. So the leaders, they were meeting in the Iranian embassy in Damascus. And you know, I watched the video, and I'm really impressed of the ability of the Israeli and their technology. I mean, they were able to hit the building, and the building just next to it, not even. Look, I mean, do you see this? When you see this, you expect that the whole building around it is going to be collapsing. No. When they hit, they hit precisely, and they are able to destroy only the target, which is really amazing to be able to do so, because a bomb cannot differentiate between this wall and that wall. But you will see that the wall next to this building is not even damaged. It doesn't even have a hole in it. So anyway, they attacked the building. They killed whoever inside, including the Iranian leader who was meeting with the terrorist. And the Iranian are making a threat. They announce the end of Israel. So Iran now announced the end of Israel. That's it. Israel is over. When you hear this, the first thing comes to your mind, look who is talking. In case you do not know, Iranian people are so poor. People of Iran, they are selling their kidney and their liver. Women in Iran, they are selling their vagina for sex. The country economy is horrible. They don't even have water to drink. The country is facing the most horrible drought ever in their history for tens of years. So when somebody says the end of Israel, and he cannot provide water to his own citizen, they cannot provide transportation, electricity, health, how you can end Israel when you are collapsing yourself? Nasrallah, the one who is announcing ticket to Israel, why he don't attack Israel? You see, Iran is far away, but Hizb Allah is in the border. Somebody will say to you, they send rockets. This is not an attack. You see, there's an agreement between Israel and Hizb Allah that if something can happen in this area. There's an agreement about it. Israel is going at war with Hamas for the last 6 months. And they killed at least, regardless of the numbers, people say, but I can say at least 40,000 of Hamas is killed. At least. And we are not counting the civilians, because for sure there's civilians who died. But however, civilians in this war are the one who is hiding Hamas. So they are of them, and they are somehow supporting terrorism. In the top of that, we cannot blame Israel for the death of any civilian, because simply this is what they did to themselves. You go, you attack them, you kidnap their children. Israel, you know that Israel will come after you. And you were prepared for it, and you build tunnels, and you will see that the Israeli, they ask Hamas, as long as you have all those tunnels under the ground, why the civilian don't go and hide there, and you go out, go upstairs. Let the civilian go downstairs. They will be safe. And let us fight together. Aren't you a mujahid, a brave? You know, you want to fight? Allahu Akbar. You have hundreds of kilometers tunnels under the ground. Let all the civilians go down. And you come above the ground and fight us. Let us stop talking about Calvinism, otherwise I will Calvinize you too. All right? Anyone who will post the word Calvinism, I'm going to Calvinize you, and I will make a decree for you to be kicked out of here. Is that fair? A bunch of idiots. Anyway. A truth reveal, aren't you? Truth prevail, aren't you a Muslim, my friend? No, Christian don't have a master except Jesus. The only master we have is our Lord, my friend. But you Muslims have many masters. Even your prophet, his master is a shaitan. Do you want to show you? What master mean, guys? Master is mean the one who give command. And the other one he have to obey, correct? All right. This is your hadith. And this is your prophet. Is speaking about who command him to do good. So who is the master of Muhammad? Shaitan. Do you see it? He command me. Who? Shaitan, the devil. He command me to do good. So your master and the master of your prophet is the devil. Prove me wrong. All right? Muhammad, he said, every one of you have a devil with him, a partner, shaitan. The Muslim, they call him companions. The companion of Muhammad, they said, Allah Messenger, will you too? He said, yes, yes, but Allah help me against him, and I am safe from his hands, so he does not command me, but for good. Going back to the Muslims' dream to destroy Israel. I say that the only way to destroy Israel if God, he wanted to destroy Israel. Otherwise, nobody can destroy it. And why God will do so? Well, God, he punished nations. And again, this is why we should not believe in decree. So, when Israel, they are with God, God is with them. And we have tons of stories in the Bible about it, correct? When Israel is not with God, God is against them. And we have tons of stories about that in the Bible. So chosen people of God is those who chose God. When the people who they are chosen, they choose not to be chosen, then they are not chosen. So when we say the Bible says, if God is with me, who could be against me? Well, why God will be with you if you are not with God? God will be with you only if you are with God. God will not be with you if you are not with God. Do we have any Muslim would like to join us? Mr. Truth Prevail, you are a Muslim. Why you don't join us? Did you get a ticket from Hassan Nasrallah to go to Jerusalem? Truth Prevail? Why you don't come to the mic? Like, look, I like your name, Truth Prevail. So how come Muhammad was not prevailing? As an example, according to the Quran, Allah, He made conditions to the Jews. He said to them, you should not believe in anyone. You should not believe in anyone unless he gives sacrifice. And then Allah, He sent the fire from heaven to consume it. So if the truth prevail, well, here we go. This is the truth. The truth is, you should not accept any messenger unless he do this. Muhammad, he agreed with them, but he could not do it. What do you think? By the way, when the Muslims, they say the Quran is an Arabic book, it's a pure Arabic. So why the word Qurban is in the Quran? Is the word Qurban is an Arabic word? Any Muhammadan would like to join us? Anyone? Who want to get a free ticket to Jerusalem? I can call Nasrallah right now for you. B, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead, I hear you.
I'm not Muslim.
So why you are in the stage? Do we have any Muhammadan would like to join us? Who want to get a free ticket to Jerusalem? I am sure that the IDF will be waiting for you in the airport. Anyone? Anyone? Free ticket to Jerusalem? That's it? That easy teasy? And look at the ticket, how cute it is. I mean, how stupid the one who came with this idea. So now this ticket is going to be in the museum, and after 10,000 years people will say this is a ticket printed by Hizb Allah for the Muslims to go to Jerusalem, and it's still valid. Go ahead, Kazu.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a Muslim. I just had a question, but I don't know why they invited me up here.
All right.
I think you dragged me back down. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
Ameen. Any Abdul? How do you address the fact that Jesus said, turn the other cheek? Do you think Christians should actually behave this way? Sure. But you see, when Jesus said, turn the other cheek, he's not talking about turning your cheek to Hizb Allah. This is not about war. This is about, two people, they are in argument. And if you are a person who believe that violence will not solve a problem, you should follow the law. In the time of Jesus, there was a law. If you hit somebody in the left cheek, you go to jail. So what Jesus says to him, says to you, use the law. You live in a country, there's a police. I mean, isn't it Jesus himself been taken to court? Isn't it the Roman police, they came and arrest Jesus? So you know, you live in a country, and there is a police, there is system, there's judges. Beating somebody will not solve the problem, will make you not a victim no more. You will become, you know, like the one who did the assault too. So what Jesus is speaking about is about being wise. But this is not about war. Like a nation you are at war with and then turn your cheek, they will take your homeland. What cheek? So many Christians who they have very wrong understanding, they think turning the cheek is about anyone, anything. Like who is a Christian here is willing to see somebody, let us say you open your door and a guy, he push you and he go to the bedroom and he want to rape your wife. Do you turn your cheek to him? Any Christian want to do that? Nobody? I thought we should turn the cheek. So in 2 seconds you will see that this turn the cheek have nothing to do with what you are talking about, right? So turning the cheek have nothing to do with what some people they claim to. You know, I remember when I go, like a long time ago, we used to go a group of Christians hiking in the mountains, you know, etc. And those Christians, they keep saying to me, hey, brother, why you have a gun with you? Why you have a gun, brother? You are a Christian, brother. And I say to them, what's wrong? Why a Christian cannot have a gun? Who said so? Isn't it Peter? He have a sword? So each time I go, they give me this drama. Until one day, it was very bad, like rain, weather, etc. And we heard the sound of the wolves. Ooh! Suddenly, all those Christians who keep making fun of me, of why always you carry a gun with you, suddenly they said to me, you have your gun with you, right? I said, yeah, but I have one bullet only. They said, only one bullet? Why only one bullet? What? Why you carry a gun with one bullet only? I was joking for sure. So all the time they were harassing me, and I'm being friendly to them. And I say, okay, my friend, this is my opinion. I like to carry guns. Don't carry guns. I'm not one who's carrying it. After that day, each time we go hiking, they say, you have your gun with you, right? I say, yeah. I say, okay, good. So there is many Christians, they act like idiots, sadly. They forgot that the Bible, the Lord of the Bible, the Lord of the Old Testament is the same God of the New Testament. So God in the Old Testament, who was with the Jews in their wars, he said, go in the field, I will be with you. Go and fight, and I will fight with you. Suddenly those Christians, they copy a verse from the Bible. This is what I was saying. You know, there's many Christians, they bring a verse and they try to give it a nice suit, which suit them. They do the same as the Muslims. The Muslim, they bring a verse from the Bible. They say, okay, Muhammadim is in the Bible. You know, Muhammadim. But there's a Christians are like that too. Christianity is not a fantasy. Jesus said, the one who don't have a sword, go and buy one. Even he said, sell your clothes and buy one. How many times you heard the priest quoting this verse for you in the church? I don't remember any priest quoting it for me. Why? How come they quote only turn your cheek? So when Jesus, he commanded him to buy a sword, to do what with it? To cut a cheese? or to protect themselves from thieves and criminals and pirates. What the Christianity is against is to live by the sword, because if you live by the sword you shall die. Which means, what live by the sword mean? Live by the sword, you make your livelihood based on the sword, which means the food you eat is not made by you, not harvested by you, but harvested by your sword, which means you cut the neck of somebody, you took his money, you live by the sword you shall die, which means the judgment, the just is the one who live by the sword, he shall be judged by the sword. But look at this. If someone he live by the sword, he shall be killed. This is what the Bible teach. So how you can manage with the turn the cheek? So obviously, the Bible say clearly the one who killed must be killed. The punishment of the killer is killing, not turn the cheek. So obviously turn the cheek is something totally different. Do we have any Muhammadan? Anyone? Any Muslim would like to join us? Who wanna go with me and get a ticket from Hassan Nasrallah to Jerusalem? As you see, this is the ticket Hizb Allah is giving to Jerusalem. Who would like to go? It's easy teasy. Netanyahu will be waiting for you. I have my friend Jack Shalom will be waiting there too. Anyone? You know, in the Middle East, always, they teach us to hate the Jews. However, there is many culture around the world, including some who they are Christians too. They try to teach hatred against the Jews. A true Christian, he will never do so. The funny is, they say to you that God, he loved the world, and they keep quoting this verse, but they don't love the Jews. Why you don't? They crucified Jesus? No, they did not. The one who crucified Jesus is their grand parents. Many Christians, they claim that Jesus taught us to forgive. Okay, that's wonderful. But they cannot forgive. When Jesus himself, he forgave even those who did it. Jesus in the cross says, forgive them, Father. They do not know what they are doing. So even the one who commit that crime, the Messiah himself, he forgave them. So hatred against the Jews, it's always work for the benefit of the devil, aka Muhammad. And if you are a Christian who support hatred against the Jews, I assure you, you are no Christian and you are evil who follow Muhammad. Your God is Satan. And I'm not saying the Jews are angels or they are good or bad. No, they are, you know, there is bad, there is good, like everywhere. How many trashy they claim to be Christians? There is a lot. Same in any group. But the idea of teaching hate against people just because they are Jews is very evil and satanic. The Lord said, from their fruits you shall know them. And that goes to you too. So if your fruit is hatred, then you are a container of hatred. Because hatred will not come out unless you have it inside you. Do we agree? In order to hate you, I have to have hatred inside me. So how you claim to be Christian and Jesus love and love everybody and God is love, and then you want to hate everybody. And you want to hate people just because that 2,000 years ago, their grand, they said his blood in our hand. But Jesus himself, he forgave them. And the Bible teach you that a person, he should pay for his crime, not his children's shall pay. So don't fall to the trap of hatred. Even when we like when somebody says, like when we say we love Muslims, what does that mean? Okay, so you say we love Muslims, but we don't love Jews? How hypocrite you are. But when we say we love Muslims, doesn't mean we are in love with Muslims. We love to save the Muslims. The love we have is the love to save, not the love of the individuals. If a person is wicked, God don't love wicked people. So if you live as a wicked man, doesn't matter if you are a Christian or whoever you are, a Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, you are a wicked man. If you are a wicked man, you are a wicked man. You are no Christian, first of all. And God don't love the wicked men. He don't. When we say he don't love them, he don't love them because of their wickedness, not because of their ethnic. Are you with me? So if you are an Indian and you are a person who is not wicked, well, God loves you. But if you are an Indian and you are wicked, God don't love you. Same for you if you are a Jew or whatever you are. The wicked man, the Lord, he says, peace for those who love peace and no peace for the wicked man. I mean to that. What it does mean, no peace for the wicked man? No peace with the Lord. You are an enemy of him because you are wicked. For peace comes from the Lord. So peace for those who love peace. And obviously the wicked men, they don't love peace. Do we have any Mohammedan would like to get a ticket to Jerusalem from Hassan Nasrallah? Look, Hassan Nasrallah, obviously, he have the solution for you. I'm telling you. It is easy teasy. You go right now to Beirut. Tell Hassan Nasrallah, Christian Prince, he sent me. They will give you a free ticket to Jerusalem. You take the first flying mule from Hizb Allah, and you will be landing in Jerusalem in no time. Ticket to Jerusalem? Hey Nasrallah, can you even give yourself a ticket to go to Iran? Do you even dare you yourself to take an airplane? Potato. You know, when I heard the news, I was saying like this is maybe a joke, cannot be true. No, look, they are printing the ticket. Look at the ticket. It's true. It's the realistic bladder. Can we take this ticket and use it in the American Airlines? Any Muslim, any Hizb Allah customer service will to call us and explain to us how to use the ticket? Like, can we copy this ticket and make it a print and then we use it? Can we go to Qatar with it? Any Mohammedan would like to join us? And by the way, just to let you know, this ticket include all the beverage. camel urine, hot camel urine. All right. And I mean, what do you like to eat? Just let's be honest. Halal. All is halal. Camel urine for drink, for sure. And 7 ajwa. 7 ajwa. What else? What else? Nagla seed. All right. Any Mohammedan? Nagla seed is the most important. You know, I will tell you a true story happened to me. You know, once I went to the doctor, and this is a true story, by the way. I'm telling you. A true story. So anyway, I went to the doctor. They did full check in my body. They found that my heart is missing. I don't have heart. You know, like Joe Biden, he have heart. You talk to a Democrat, they say to you, he have a heart, he have a heart. So anyway, the doctor, he did not find heart, and the livers are gone. He said the only thing we see in the scan that you have teeth and testicles and, you know, the male thing. The rest is gone. So where'd they go? They said Allah knows best. All right. So I don't know what to do now. Like, I have no heart, I have no livers, I have no lung, I have nothing. I mean, everything is gone. So I said to myself, let me use the medical teaching of Prophet of Allah. So I went and I ordered Nagla seed. And brother, I went back to the hospital after I ate only half Nagla seed. Just half. I did not eat all of it, you know. I said, let me try step by step what will happen, because I wanted to prove something to myself. So I took half of Nagla seed. I went to the doctor and they took an x-ray. They found that I have half heart, half liver, half lung. I mean, everything is half. Half a brain too. So they said to me, how you were able to do that? Yesterday you came here, you have none. I did not tell them the secret. I went back home and I ate the rest of the Nagla seed. And then I went back to the hospital. They did x-ray. They found that I have full heart. Actually, I ate, you know, I realized, like, you know, I could not resist. You know, I ate one Nagla seed and a half. So they said to me, now you have one heart and a half. And I said, okay, where is the other half located? They said, well, Arab men, usually their heart is in their testicle. So your heart is down in your testicle. The other half is next to the third testicle. I said, I have 3 testicles? They said, Subhanallah, you have 3 testicles like your grandfather. Because my grandfather, by the way, he used to have 3 testicles. Anyway, like, he was playing golf and he lost one. True story, true story. I mean, you Muslims who would, you know, they speak about logic, they want to fly to Jerusalem, free ticket, and I mean, those you know, the Muslim leader, they treat the Muslims as a bunch of goats. Anything is for sale, anything is okay. People, they accept. Just give them anything. Nagla seed, here we go. Nagla seed can solve any problem. Like, what is the problem? What is your problem? What is your disease? What is your illness? Eat Nagla seed. That's it. It saves you from anything except death. This is why during Corona, no, Muslims don't go to hospitals. They don't. They just take Nagla seed. This is why the Kaaba was empty during Corona. You know, I remember the terrorism during Corona time. Anything I say in YouTube about Corona, YouTube send me warning. This video been strike for spreading false information can be harmful for a human being, and like, what the heck? Yeah. terrorism. And they say this platform have a free, free speech. Do we have any Mohammedan? Do you know about Serbian-Albanian situation? I know, and I say to you, obviously the American didn't want something good for the Serbian. And the reason they don't want something good for the Serbian, because simply you are not taking their side. You know, many people, they think that America stand for the Christians, or no, American government are evil. They never stand for Christian. In fact, always they protect people like Osama bin Laden. They host them, they train them, they give them money. During the war in Syria, what they did, Obama gave $650 million to the terrorists who are killing Christians in Syria. Everybody know that. Everybody know that. So Western countries in the lead of America, they will not like you unless you become like their puppy. If you become their puppy, they will give you bonds, they will like you, they will hug you, So freedom have a price. Freedom have a price. Beast don't like small countries to say no. And if you say no, you are going to pay a very high price. So don't complain, for high price is the freedom. You want to be a master of your own? Then there's a price. You want to be a follower, like many countries who obey USA, even when they are wrong? There's a price. Trump is another idiot, by the way, even though I vote for him. Trump, he said just yesterday, I think, that he is the same as Nelson Mandela. But Nelson Mandela is a very corrupt man, disgusting gang leader. You know, in the world, by the way, everything is upside down. The gang leader, he become a hero. He become a freedom fighter. But the fact, we know that this guy was a gang leader, he's a criminal. His family are a bunch of criminals. And now Nelson Mandela is, is a status for freedom. Everybody, who dare to say no? The second you say no, they will accuse you to be a racist. You cannot say Nelson Mandela is bad. Can you? I can. The Lord, he said, from their fruits you shall know them. Go check it out. Very corrupt. Go and check how many millions of dollars they own, his family now. I mean, where is the money coming from? The guy have bodyguards, have villas, have... What happened to the poor guy? So they praise somebody, they make him a hero, and now you have an idiot like Trump saying he is the same as Nelson Mandela. Will mean he is saying he is corrupt too. Which one is better to cooperate with, USA or China? Well, both of them, they are dragons. It doesn't matter who you cooperate with, they will swallow you if you are small. They don't do things for free. The best thing for any nation to do is what the Jews did. You see, the Israeli, they got the support of America, not because America, they are in love with Israel. No, I'm talking about the government now. But Israeli are smart people, and their corporation is very important. In case you do not know, that the second World War II, won because of the Jews. It was the Jews who made the first nuke. And here you need to understand that the Jews are not someone you can ignore. And the American, they understand that very well. Most of the technology is existing right now in USA involved heavily with Jewish scientists. So America can threaten Israel to stop providing weapon, but Israel can threaten America to stop providing scientists. And many scientists, they will stop supporting USA technology and go back to Israel. So in order for you to have a stable nation and not enslaved by any of the beasts in the East or in the West, is to establish your own power, your own army, your own technology, your own intelligence, your own education, and not to depend in economy, in energy, in weapon on other nations. A nation who don't make their own clothing and they buy their clothing from the enemy, they will go naked anytime. If you cannot be independent, then you are dependent, and that will tell you where you belong. All right? American through history, they always side with the wrong people. Is it true that Osama bin Laden was a hero in America just a few years ago? During the Soviet Union? Yes. Big articles about the hero who left his country, Saudi Arabia, to fight the communists. That is Osama bin Laden. All right. Russian, Chinese, American government are not good, and they are not good people. The Russian, they brought the criminals of the Chechen Republic to rape Ukrainian women. This man Putin, he has zero dignity. American, they sponsor the Muslim terrorists in Syria to kill and rape Christian women and burn churches. They supply them with weapon and technology. The donkey Netanyahu himself, he sponsored the terrorists in Syria. Netanyahu himself. This is how stupid they are. But I say to you that all those who support evil, evil will come back to them. And look what happened now, October 7. So Netanyahu, he supported the Muslim Brotherhood in Syria, but the Muslim Brotherhood in Syria is Hamas. Do you see what happened when you have zero ethic? Netanyahu, he have zero ethic. He don't have ethic. He is so stupid to the point he thought, okay, well, Muslim Brotherhood in Syria, they are fighting Iran. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Wrong. Because both of them, they hate you, and both of them, they consider you as an enemy. So what the point if you get rid of Hizb Allah, and then you brought the other devil, Hamas, to Syria? Imagine now the plan of Netanyahu to support Hamas in Syria work. Imagine. I mean, this will be a biggest disaster ever happened to Israel. Do we have any Abdul? He fell for the deception? No, he fell for his own Satan deception. You know, I always see the leaders of Israel, even the Israeli are supposedly educated, they have scientists, etc., but they don't see really the future. They always have a lack of the future. And I'm talking about the leaders we have right now. The future of Israel right now is in very dangerous situation. Why? Because they are getting too close to their enemy. When the stupid Trump, he works so hard to make the Israelis sign a peace agreement with Emirat and Bahrain, etc. Was that for the benefit of Israel? I say to you, that is the biggest mistake ever Israel did in their history. Now, many people will not understand what I'm saying because you will know the future later. You see, none of them, they believe in peace with you. So if they are willing to shake hands with you today, it's just because there is reasons, and the reason is Iran. Emirat is a small, tiny country. Bahrain is a smaller, tiny country. Both of them, they are in the front of the mouth of Iran in the Persian Gulf. Iran already occupied part of Emirat. Emirat seeking extra protection. Where is the protection can come from? Israel. So again, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Stupid idea. Because both of them, they are your enemies. So if today they are your friends by appearance, but they are your enemy forever. What is making Israel an enemy to Emirat and to Iran? Islam. So how we can have peace with Emirat if both of them believe in the same book? And the same book says kill the Jews. So Emirat and Bahrain, they are in a very tough position. They don't have the ability to protect themselves. War can erupt in the Gulf, the Persian Gulf, anytime. Emirat is no match to Iran. Iran can swallow it, and I believe time will come if the Iranian regime did not collapse and something happened, Iran is going to occupy the Gulf. You see, the Iranian, they never accepted the Gulf to be called the Arabian Gulf. It's called, until now, by all maps, Persian Gulf. Only in the maps of the Arab, it's called Arabian Gulf. If we go to the map, let's put the map for you. Iran will not accept this Gulf to be anything except a Persian Gulf, which means it have to be occupied by the Persian from both sides. By the help of USA, Iran already occupied Iraq and Syria. So now the Persian Gulf is not only in the Persian Gulf already is in the Mediterranean. By the help of USA and Joe Biden specifically, the Persian Gulf right now is in Yemen. Look where. Yemen in control of all this territory here, where it's a very sensitive area for a trade and transportation through the sea. So Iran is expanding, even though their economy is so weak. So I say, if not, the economy would destroy Iran. Iran is going to invade. And actually, it might be that because their economy is bad, they might do invade. Why? Because their economy is bad. You see, in the chapter of At-Tawbah 9:29, 9:28, it says, if you fear poverty, Allah will reach you. Attack the Christians and the Jews. So, in Islam, the solution of being in poverty is to attack and steal the wealth of the neighbors. The only thing is stopping Iran right now is USA. What USA will do? Like now, USA have a big base in Qatar. USA have many bases. Some of them they are secretly exist in Emirat or in Saudi Arabia. Otherwise, Iran will occupy all those countries in less than a few hours. I assure you that if Iran invade, Emirat will collapse in 15 minutes. Like the Emirati, they keep buying airplanes and missiles. This is useless. They don't even have any chance. They don't even have people to fight. Anyway, fighting Emirat is something, and fighting Israel is something else. Why? Because Israel is extremely powerful, even though they are a very small, tiny nation. So the situation is totally different. Israel is taking advantage of that the Shia and the Sunni, they hate each other. But that will not change the fact that both of them, they hate the Israeli. Someone, he want to share his testimony about what? Going to free ticket to Israel? Or about leaving Islam? Leaving Islam later. Let us talk about going to Israel right now. Do we have any Muhammadan? Anyone? What will happen in this war? Well, the Israeli, Netanyahu is not really a smart individual. And obviously they are not prepared for what happened. I think Netanyahu is trying to extend the war time so he can stay in the office more. It's not because he's a hero, but because he knew if election happened again, he will not win. So he's trying, before the coming election come, to accomplish something so he can use it to fix his broken career. That's all. Otherwise, the war, it's not going anywhere, I mean, they killed a lot of Hamas, etc. They will not let Hamas govern. We got that. But the Israeli, obviously, they don't have, they are not willing to stay in Gaza. And their plan is not to stay. I can tell you from now. Like even yesterday, they withdrew from the south of Gaza. So why you occupy it? Why you want to give it for free for them without agreement about anything? So I don't see really any smart plan is happening for the future. What I see is a leader is trying to stay at war, just to stay at war. When you're at war, you are excused for many things. They want the hostages back. Well, if they want the hostages back, then should attack Rafah the first day, not now they are talking about it. You see, the border with Israel, with Egypt, is where all the weapon coming from. And I mean, anyone who have a little intelligence, he knew that. So why they were waiting all this time? Shouldn't they close this border from the first day? I mean, shouldn't you close the faucet of the money, the weapon, the tunnels? This is where everything is coming from. So any smart, intelligent person, the first thing you do, you cut the resource of the enemy. Like, in the army, they teach you how to cut the resource. Like you destroy bridges, you attack train railways, you attack airports, etc. Why? Because you are cutting the resource. Now, Hamas don't have trains and airports. They have tunnels going under the ground to Egypt. So now, what is the guarantee that the hostages, they are not already in Qatar? You know what I mean? Netanyahu is just an idiot. No, Israel will not take Gaza. Gaza is no good for Israel. This land is full of criminals, gangs. You see, Gaza is divided between gangs, and they are families. Gaza is not a normal place like, where just normal citizens live. No, it's a gang tribes. So there's big families control the territory. Big families, tribes, Bedouin. And if you are one of them, like now when they give AIDS, who is the one who take the money and the food and etc.? The gangs, the big families, and the rest are dogs. They have to beg for food from those big families. So there's big families in Gaza, and you are not from those families. So what do? You have to talk to one of them. Please, can you give us something? Please, we have kids, etc. And then he say, okay, give him something. And then you are thankful for them for the rest of your life. So Gaza is not a place for anyone. That's why even Egypt refused to take Gaza. The Israeli, when they signed peace agreement with Egypt, they offered them to take Gaza. They refuse. Because 2 million of Gaza is like bringing the cartel to the heart of Egypt. Nobody wants Gaza. Even Gaza don't want Gaza. But anyway, Israel is not doing a good job because Netanyahu was in the office for a long time. Netanyahu is like a, like a stinky politician who stink from the top to the toes. And yet he tried now to claim that he is a hero. In fact, all the money of Hamas came into Gaza by his approval. This is how stupid he is. He is the one who commanded the Shin Bet, the Israeli intelligence, not to watch Hamas no more. They, okay, Hamas are not doing anything really. They are building tunnels. Okay, let them build tunnels. What they can do with it? We are not going there anywhere. Anyway. Very stupid way of thinking. Imagine the intelligence of Israel. They stopped watching the phones of Hamas leaders for more than 4 years ago. Why you do that? At least the leaders. They have technology. They can read the text of any human being in this earth. They can go to your phone and read every single message inside it. They can see the pictures in your phone. This is how powerful the Israeli technology is. And yet, they sell this technology to Emirates, to Saudi Arabia, to spy at their enemies. But they did not practice their technology on their own enemy. All right, sister, come to the stage.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you hear me, CP?
I hear you. Go ahead.
Nice. Thank you so much for letting me uh, be here and share with you my testimony very briefly. I am from the Middle East, and I was a Muslim. I was born as a Muslim and grew up in a very religious family. Anyway, so what happened to me is very amazing. It's just really miraculous. Do you hear me?
I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Just that you're not hearing me. So early summer of 2021, I had a lot of strange feelings. Like I had the feeling that I will die soon. You know, it was after the COVID era and all of these death, watching death of people on TV and everything else. Anyway, I just asked a lot of questions. I asked my being, you know, I asked, how about if I die? Where do I go? You know, so what happened was God. I mean, when I'm talking about God in here, is not Allah, it's not Allah. Put into my heart to seek the truth. You know, so I started questioning a lot of things about my religion, Islam and Quran. You know, a lot of questions that was raised in me from the beginning. You know, when I was a teenager, like why there is marriage in heaven, or a lot of other things. Anyway, so I just said I want to study Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. The purpose of my study is that I just want to know my own religion better. You know what I mean?
Okay.
By just knowing Christianity and Judaism, by knowing the Bible and the Torah, I just want to make sure that yes, my religion, Islam, is the truth. Because deep in my heart, I just thought, yes, it is the truth, because you know they always teach you, oh, Islam is a perfect religion, it's the last. Prophet Muhammad is a great man, and you know the last prophet, and all, etc. You know all of the things. You know when you grow up in the Middle East. So, um, uh, just seeking the truth, you know, asking all of these questions, and I started watching a lot of, you know, like these naive people watching these Muslims, you know, like Western Muslims, the revert, they call themselves revert, which actually is convert, not a revert. YouTubes, you know, the people that they have reaction on somebody's reciting Quran, and these people are saying, "Oh wow, look how beautiful it is," or you know, that's these Western people they became Muslim, you know, and I'm watching those videos on YouTube, and at the same time, I'm just tapping on my back and saying, you see, Islam is the truth. If Islam is not the truth, these Western people, you know, these white people wouldn't even thinking about becoming a Muslim. So, so all of this is happening, but there is something there deep inside my heart. Something is telling me, search more, search more. This is not the truth. So I'm still searching. And at the same time, you know, because of this COVID era, I had this feeling that I will die soon, you know. It was a very strange, a strong feeling. Anyway, so I was, the Lord, the living God, actually put into my heart that I need to search more and more stuff. So he put into my heart to search about hell. This is a very sensitive subject, I know. You know, as a Muslim, I believe in hell and heaven. It is in the Quran. It is mentioned, you know, although I didn't believe that what is going on in heaven, I really opposed that. I did not accept it. You know, it was always a question for me. Anyway, but I believed in hell and heaven. It exists. It's a place. It's a reality. So I started searching more, and I wound up watching some health testimonies on YouTube. One of them was Bill Weiss, the other one was Brian Melvin, and Mario Ramirez, and a lot more, a lot more. What happened was very strange. while I'm watching these hell testimonies, I feel like, I'm right there with these people. Like everything they're talking, every sentence, everything they're expressing, I'm feeling it completely, 100%. Like it is me there with them, experiencing the things that is happening to them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so the first hell testimony I watched was Bill Wace, and then after that, Brian Melvin, and I'm like, it is. I think the Lord made me like be really kind of feel the thing, feel the fear, the outer darkness, whatever these people experiencing in hell. It was like I'm there. It was really real. So after these testimonies, I was frozen. Right now, I'm shocking. I'm shocking. I was shocked. So I was like shivering. My bones were shivering, like my whole body, my bones, my whole existence was shivering, and like I was frozen. For some time, I was not able to open any door that I know that room is dark. That was how scared I was, how frightened I became. So anyway, what I noticed is really surprising. These people are in here in the NAD, in the near-death experiences, and something is strange for me that I've never, it's like, wow. They are calling the name of Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ show up there and take their hands and remove them from outer darkness and hell, and then they come back to life. This hit me so hard. Seeing these people calling upon a name that is saving them, I felt like I was like I melted. I felt a lack in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit. I feel like I have nothing. I feel like, so imagine I'm there with them, but I don't have that person. I don't believe that person. Jesus Christ, they calling his name and he come there and he save them. I don't have Jesus Christ, like all of these Muslim and every other Muslim, I just believe, according to Quran and Islam, Jesus Christ, Isa is a prophet, a messenger of Allah, all of these things that Muslims always, I was like one of them, I didn't believe in Jesus Christ as my personal Lord and Savior, as God, as the living God, and as the Son of the Most High. And this hit me really hard, and I was like, it was really hard for me. I'm here, I am in hell, and there is nobody here to save me. Anyway, and then I watched more and more of these hell testimonies, and there are a lot of similarities in them. And deep in my heart, I knew it is true. This is what God wanted me to see. So when I saw them, I realized that yes, that's it. I'm gonna die soon, and this is where I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go anyway. So I actually told my husband, you know what? I'm gonna really search. I'm serious. I wanna search about Judaism and Christianity and Islam. I wanna know my religion better. I wanna know what is the truth. I'm seeking the truth. And he actually bought me a King James Bible. Anyway, what happened was,
Your husband, he bought you the King James Bible?
yes. He encouraged me. At that time, he was an atheist. You know what I mean? He's a very good man. A lot of atheist people are nice, decent, good, but they don't just believe in God. They don't have that feeling. So he was, as an atheist, he actually encouraged me, and he bought me the first Bible ever in my life, King James version. Anyway,
Hold
I
on.
opened it and I was like,
Wait. This is like history. Guys, listen
yes.
to listen to this. An atheist is buying
Yes.
his wife, who is a Muslim, a Bible. I mean,
I love American.
it is really
Uh,
something very, very strange, Yeah,
I
okay, go
know.
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
know. This is of God, the CP. It's all the grace of God.
I mean to
I
that.
mean, my life is really a miracle. How I met my husband. He's American. and I'm a Muslim from the Middle East, and how we met is just like miracle. It's just a super natural. It's just a spiritual. How I just got out of home and I went, to Turkey and met my husband and came in here. Anyway, if I talk to that, this is a really amazing story. Anyway. So he actually was very encouraging. Okay, and so he, as a gift, he bought me a King James Bible because he's a he actually has masters in English literature. He was a university professor. I also, but anyway. And I opened that Bible and I was like, what? I cannot understand a sentence in here. It doesn't make any sense for me. When you grew up in a religious family in the Middle East, in the culture full of, exposure to the Islamic instructions and, oppression, and they inject Quran into you from your childhood. And, you grow up with Quran, the verses, it's only a little book with 114 chapters, and I was like, wow, this is a big book. And, being lazy person, like a lot of Muslims that they don't like to research and study, I was like, how can I really come and sit and read this book? Anyway, the grace of God is continuing here in my life. And so what happened was, I look at this, so I kind of try to start reading John, New Testament. So the first sentence, the first verse in John, the word was God. And it's like, what? The word was God. I just put that Bible away for a little bit, and I was like, I need to, I want to know, at that time when I was like, it was my beginning, and I was like, questioning Bibles. It's not really the true word of God. How come the Quran is the word of God and the Bible? And I know in my heart, Muslims believe that Bible is corrupted. This is what I grew up. They were telling me Bible is corrupted. Christianity is not a true religion. All of these things that you talk about in your videos, they are true. Christians are najas. They're killing this and that. Anyway, I don't want to talk about negativity in here. So one day at work, I just told my coworker, hey, you know what? I decided this is the decision. I decided to study these religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. I am seeking the truth. And very open, your Christians are really open. They don't force their religion, they don't force what they believe to you. And open heart, very open-minded people. Sure, nice. That's really nice. We are happy for you. I remember he wrote a simple prayer on a piece of paper and gave it to me, and I read that prayer. That prayer is the sinner's prayer of repentance, that you confess with your mouth that the Lord Jesus Christ is your personal savior, and he died and he rose after 3 days, and nice. And so I just read it, I just read it. I'm open, I'm open. I opened my heart, not by myself, not by my will, not by my mind. It was all the Lord. I mean, talking about all of these miraculous things in my life, it's all from the beginning. The Lord God was putting these things to my heart to search the truth, to seek the truth. So I just read that prayer. And the same day, because at that time I was working night shift, the same day when it was in the afternoon, because we used to go to bed in the afternoon to be able to get up and go to work. So I went to bed, and I'm not a heavy sleeper, so I sleep very light. It takes me like half an hour, 2 hours, 1 hour to just go to the deep sleep. So as soon as I go to bed, I close my eyes, my spirit is transferred somewhere else. Do you understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are you hearing? Okay.
I do hear you. Go ahead.
I was transferred in the spirit realm out of my body, and I was somewhere else. Guess where? I transferred to my parents' house, to the basement where I was living with my parents. I was there hanging in our basement. I was like multiple room. I'm seeing myself there, and I'm like in shock. Imagine when something happens in the spirit realm, it's you. You're there. Your heart, your soul, your spirit is there, and I'm shocked. And how can it's possible that I'm suddenly in here, back home in my father's house? I'm still in shock. Okay, I'm still like I cannot believe that I'm in my father's house in the basement, and I'm looking around and say, what is going on? Why I'm in this basement? How is it possible that I came back from like where I live suddenly in my parents' house, which is in the Middle East, which is in one of the towns in one of the countries in the Middle East? How is it? I was still in shock and shivering and looking around. Suddenly somebody is watching me from the outside of the window, and I just look at him. I said, who's that? I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and that person came to me slowly, approached me slowly, and came closer and closer to me. You hear what I say?
Okay, yeah, I hear you.
Yes, I'm sorry. Because it's so silent. I feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm sorry. I'm so excited, and at the same time, I'm just shivering because this is really, and I really don't know how to put this in words, because no word can describe what I went through. This is a spiritual, supernatural, natural thing that happened to me. It's real, more than the real life, more than the physical life. Anyway. So I am looking, and this person coming very, very softly, very, very gently. This gentleman coming close to me, and he had a beautiful, very beautiful green tunic. Like I don't know how to describe tunic, men's tunic, and he's coming to me, and I'm looking at him, and the first, oh.
Go ahead, sister, we are listening. Are you there? All right, maybe she lost her connection or something, we don't know. Or maybe she is so much getting emotional. We will give her time. Yeah, but I find her story is really something special about it, especially when she said that her husband, who is an atheist, he bought her the Bible. I never heard such a thing before, like atheist buying. That is strange. And here you see, you can think about it, that even God sometime, he can use someone who don't believe in God. And this is actually what happened. I mean, why this guy even he thought about buying a Bible for his wife? It doesn't make sense. He himself is the first one to reject such a book. All right. Anyway, very interesting story, but we are happy for our sister for what she experienced, and I hope that she will, her and her husband, I hope her husband soon will find the truth and he will become a Christian too. And for sure her children's. Anyone have a question for me about our topic today? Do we have any Muslim would like to join us? We are talking about, we mentioned many things today. We mentioned that those who believe in a predestiny, they are wrong. And you cannot be Christian and you believe in predestiny, because that against God's justice. For if God, he decide for me what I will do tomorrow, then God should not judge me for what I have done. So Christianity for sure opposing such an idea, and anyone promotes such an idea, he have a very wrong understanding of who is God. God is all about just. And if we believe that God is just, then the just of God will not allow such a thing to happen. All right, I think Sister, she is back.
Zippy,
Yeah, go
you hear
ahead.
me?
We lost you. Yeah. So
Okay,
you saw
look at
that person. This is where we lost you.
yeah, I got my cell phone turned off because the battery,
Okay.
and it doesn't happen again. I'm charging it right now.
All right.
So this person came closer to me. He approached closer to me. So one of the reasons that I was shocked seeing him was because you think that Jesus Christ is look like those pictures in the Catholic churches and online. That tall, very tall guy with very bright white skin and the long blonde hair and blue eyes, that has a heart in his hand. No, that was what I thought, because of that was in my mind. I just thought, so Jesus Christ looked like that person. That's Jesus Christ. When he came to me, I couldn't believe that he was the real Jesus Christ, the true Jesus Christ. That's why I was like shocked. Anyway, so the first thing he said to me, he said, "Are you this and that?" He called my maiden name and my family name. So, when I got to here, the first thing I did, even when I was still a Muslim, I changed my name. I changed my name. I didn't want to even have a Muslim name anyway. And so he called my maiden name and my family name, and I said, "Yes, I am. Yes, I am." And right away, I told what I said was this: "Are you Jesus?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And I'm like shivering and in shock. And I asked again, "Are you Jesus?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And he came a little bit closer to me, and he was like, coming to me and showing his hands like toward me. And I said, "Are you Jesus?" for the third time in shock. And he said, "Yes, I am Jesus." I was really shocked. I didn't understand. I didn't know that Jesus looked like him. All of these pictures were different, are different. And what he did, he came closer to me, and closer, very gently came closer to me. And Jesus Christ, the true Jesus Christ, the Lord, he came closer to me and he took my hands. I'm a sinner. I'm the most terrible sinner. Even being a Muslim. I didn't deserve this. I did not deserve meeting with Jesus Christ. I couldn't believe that. It is in front of my eyes, CP. Right now I'm just seeing the whole scene, the whole vision. So he took my hands, both of my hands, in his hand. Very real. I'm talking. I cannot really express what happened, what was my feeling, what was really happening in here. So he took my hand, and I'm just like, I felt his hand. It's just so real. It's just so real. I mean, like, when you encounter Jesus Christ, no matter with your spiritual eyes open or with your physical eyes, it's very real. Jesus Christ is not just a story in the Bible. He is real. He is alive. He's the living God. He's the Son of the Most High. So he took my hands, in my hands, the sinner, the worst wretched sinner in the world, and so I have my hands in his hand, and then he approached me closer and he held me. Jesus Christ, the same Jesus Christ that is in the Bible, took my hand, people, and held me. He held me. He embraced me in his loving arm. And I was like, so I'm in the arm of the Lord, the living God. Jesus Christ, the living God. I'm in his arm, and he is right there. I'm in his loving arm of the Lord, of the Lord, of the God, of the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings, of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I tell you how he looks. And so when I was in his arms, okay, I really pray this encounter happens to every one of you. I pray that you encounter Jesus Christ, the real Jesus Christ. And what I was feeling, it was love. Love. I'm talking about love. Oh Lord, please help this doesn't cut off again. Oh Lord, please help. Holy Spirit, please take over, Holy Spirit. Don't let the devil cut this off again. Because I was hindered for sharing my testimony for 4 years now. It was love. I mean, talking about love, no earthly love, no carnal love, no, I don't know, philosophical love, no whatever love you think in your mind. It's just pure, holy love of God, the living and true God. It was like radiating from his body to me, like radiating, like the radiation from his body to me. Like I'm absorbing this love, this sense of security. Like I'm telling you, I've never ever felt security around any man when I was a Muslim. I don't want to talk about what happened to me. This is a trauma. I don't want to remember my traumas. Anyway, I was assaulted. I was abused. Anyway. What I felt was the pure, holy love from God, from the living God, the God of Bible, and I'm just saturating. I'm just like being filled with love, with security, with joy, with inner joy, with a spiritual joy, with emotional joy, with mental joy, and I'm feeling, I'm just receiving all of this radiance, all of this energy, the love energy, the purity, the energy of purity, holiness from God, from the true God, the God of universe, It was so, I'm shivering right now. My whole body is shivering talking about it. I cannot really express what it looks like. I cannot really express in words, especially English is not my native language. I cannot really express. I cannot find any words to express what happened to me, the exact scene, the exact encounter, and the feelings. So I'm receiving all of this energy, all of this radiation of love, joy, peace, inner peace, mental peace, emotional peace. I feel like all of the trauma in my whole life went away. Boom! I felt like I'm so light. I was like, I couldn't feel any burden, all of the burdens of sin and all of the oppression and all of the agony and all of the terrible things that happens to your life. They were just disappeared like this. Boom! They went up. They were not there anymore when I was there in the arms of Jesus Christ. Every single thing happened to me. All of the oppressions, all of the trauma, all of the abuse, they were boom, they disappeared, they went away. The guilt from sinning, the sins, the guilt, the I don't know, the abuse, the traumas, the mental pressure, the mental, all of the emotional, everything gone. And what I'm feeling is like, how can I describe it? It's like somebody being in heaven, They said there is no agony, there's no fear. The heaven is filled with joy, the pure joy, the holy joy. That was like that. The joy I describe it is holy. You know what I mean? No carnal, no physical. It was just the holy joy, the purity of this joy was extra ordinary, very supernatural, very spiritual. It's right in front of my eye. I feel like he's in front of my eyes right now. That's why I'm shivering. And so I'm just receiving all of this radiant energy from him, and then so I'm still in his arm. Like I don't know how long it took. I feel like it took it for eternity at that time. It was like, oh, okay, nice. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. The best place I can be for eternity. The arms of the Lord. Thank you, Lord. I'm here. That's it. And what it was then he looked at my eyes. So his face is very close to me, as like somebody, like you're talking to somebody very close. Very real, very, very real, like a real person. Jesus is not a story in the Bible. Jesus is real. And so what he did, he just looked at me, staring at my eyes, and he made me to stare. I'm just in awe. I'm like, I don't know if anybody, I really pray all of you encounter the Lord, and then you understand what I feel. And I'm still in awe. I cannot believe, like, wow, like, what is going on? What is happening? Jesus Christ, what is here? So I'm looking at his eyes, and he making me to stare at his face and his eyes to so I remember him. You know what I mean? So I remember his eyes. I remember his face. And what I'm seeing in his eyes, so beautiful. The eyes of the Lord Jesus Christ is so beautiful. It's just like, the color of the eyes was changing, like from brown, dark brown to light brown and hazel and green, and very beautiful color that are changing. It's really interesting. And then I feel like I'm seeing the whole world, in his eyes. I feel like I'm seeing the whole love, his love for the world, for people, for humanity, for me, for you, for everybody, for us. No matter if you're a Buddhist, Muslim, Jews, for the humanity, I can feel that love in his eyes. You know what I mean, CP?
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
And so, so he's making me to stare at his eyes, and so I'm remembering, and I never forget that face. I never forget until by His grace, I will go to him. And what happened then, the scene changed. From here, let me tell you, in his precious hands, in his holy hands, me, the wretched sinner, in his hands, in his arm, and he's like, suddenly I see that he's going up. So we are not on the floor anymore, we're going up. He's taking me up to the air, like going up, like, I don't know how to express that. I don't know what is the word, CP. So we are not on the floor, we are going up. And while we are going up, how can I express to you, Lord, CP, Lord, how you dance when you have your hands in somebody's hand, and you dance like in a circle. I don't know how can I express that. I don't know how to. Let me. I don't know how to. You have your hands. It is in his hands, and you're like dancing with. Like that circle dance. Like, I don't know what is the scene. I hope you understand what I get.
But don't worry. Don't worry about explaining it. Just tell us, and people will understand. Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, I think the Holy Spirit will help them to understand. And we are going up. While we are going up, I'm hearing the chorus of angels. The heavenly angels are singing beautifully. I mean, the whole air is saturated with that chorus, and amazing. It was really amazing that my throat. I mean, unconsciously, I didn't really. I'm not a good singer, but I'm singing in unison with the angels, with the heavenly angels. It was like a very beautiful chorus. Like I don't know how to. I found some similarities on YouTube. Like this. I don't know how. I cannot really express. Anyway, and so then the scene changed. I see him come right in front of me. He goes to the stairs, and I'm asking what happened. Why Jesus going to the stairs? What is going on? So what I saw shocked me. So going to the stairs, that the stairs come to the yard, because it's a basement. I looked up the stairs, and instead of the door opens to the yard. Okay, so what you see normally in the physical eyes is the yard, but in the spiritual eyes, what I was seeing, it was deep, dense, pitch black darkness. Like I don't know how to say, the forces of the darkness. All black, deep, dense, pitch black darkness. And this deep darkness was, it was not just one, let's say forces of darkness. Everything was dark. They were pushing down the stairs a piece of the log, you know, the longest piece of the cross, that was they were pushing down. Like, I don't know how to, there's like an 8x8, like very heavy piece of Christ, you know, that the tallest one, you know, and what I saw, they are pushing this down. And then in my spirit, I felt, you know, when you are in the spirit, then you can understand the things that you understand, your understanding opens. Was that Satan and his minions and demons tried hard to kind of kill me, you know, or like, you know, I told you that I had the feeling that I will die soon.
Yeah.
And they not only they were doing that, my death was close. Okay, so Jesus came and saved me from death. Not only that, they were preparing my torture. I better say one of my tortures, that is crucifixion in hell. One of the that what I understand, that one of the tortures that I will go through is the crucifixion. You know, because I was a Muslim. You know, I didn't know. I denied Jesus. I didn't know Jesus Christ. I just thought Isa is a prophet. That's not even Jesus Christ in what is in Quran, which is not the word of God. I had another vision Jesus showed me about Quran. Anyway, and they pushed this log or cross down. What the Lord did, he went to that piece of the log, and it was really heavy. I could feel that how heavy, because it was really hard. Like he pulled it up from the floor, and he pulled it up like this. He bent over and he pulled it up, put it on on his shoulder, and he pushed it up. The Lord Jesus Christ pushed that log up, and it was up, and he did that. All of those forces of darkness, they disappeared with that cross. Everything disappeared. And then when he did that, this is what he did. He acted in that vision. He took the cross. Not only he took the cross 2,000 years ago, he just took the cross. My own cross of crucifixion in hell, he took it. He pushed it up. And I'm sorry.
It's all right. I will give you a break. Maybe we can continue at some other time. So you can, because you are getting so much emotional, and I want,
Actually, it's the end. I'm sorry to bother you all. I know
No. You are not bothering us. Actually, your story is a very beautiful story, and obviously the message is so clear, and the Lord, He chosen to show you the truth. You did not even search the Bible yet. You did not study it, but you know, He came to you to tell you that I am the one you are looking for. So the story you mentioned is very, very good. And, you know, regarding Jesus images and in churches, those images does not present anything about Jesus. It's just imaginary image. And like if you go to Philippines, Jesus looked like a Filipino. You go to Africa, he is black. You go to Japan, he is Japanese. And you mentioned something that you saw in his eyes. You saw the whole world. And that is true. Because he loved the world. For God, he loved the world. He sent his only begotten Son. So with the Messiah, all ethnic is demolished. No ethnicity between us. It doesn't matter if you are Middle Eastern or African or Asian or white or black. It doesn't matter. For the Lord, he is the Lord of all, and he loves his creation. He is the one who created us, and all of us, we are called children of God. Christianity is against racism, for we believe, first of all, that God created Adam, and all of us, we are children of one man. However, in Islam, Muhammad, he claimed that when God, he created Adam, he hit the right shoulder of Adam, and he made the white people come out, and he said to them, you go to heaven, and I don't care. And then he hit the left shoulder of Adam, and the offspring of black people came, and then he said to them, you go to hell, and I don't care. So obviously Muhammad is a very filthy racist, and you see, and you see in the Messiah, he showed you everything you are looking for. His cross, his love,
Yes.
his forgiveness.
You know,
You felt
it's
like
very.
all the stress you have in your life is gone. And there was a Muslim in the
Mhm.
chat, a Muslim in the chat in YouTube was saying, why all Christians, they have the same silly stories? Well, my friend, you need to ask yourself, why Muslims are seeing the same story? She is a Muslim. She was a Muslim. Why a Muslim
Yeah,
she
I
is
was
seeing
Muslim
that
at that
story?
time.
Yeah. So because when she saw that story, she was not a Christian. So
Yeah,
Abdul,
I
you are
was
a
like,
Muslim.
no, not
So
today.
what? So
Yeah,
she saw Jesus doing amazing things. But imagine if she would dream about Muhammad. She would dream about what? Muhammad having sex with Aisha, a child.
yeah, I never like.
What she will dream about
Well,
Muhammad doing? Splitting a woman two pieces when she's
CP,
alive.
exactly. CP, let me say something very quick. So when he did that, he took my cross and he pulled it up, and then he stood up and he looked at my eyes very kindly, and then he walked off and he just disappeared. And I was like shouting and sobbing like a little girl, and I was saying, "No, Jesus, don't leave me, don't go, Jesus." So there's one question in here, and I know a lot of Muslims will ask and will say, "Oh, well, how about how if it was Satan that came to your dream?" Because I share my testimony in comment section, this I get a lot of questions. Well, it was Satan came to your dream. It was blah blah blah. How do you really know? The very good question, actually. It's really good to ask. How do you really know that it was Jesus?
Yeah, but the Muslims are hypocrite. How they knew
Yeah.
that the one who came to Muhammad is an angel?
Yes.
You know?
So let me tell you
Mm.
the answer. The Lord gave me the answer for that too. So that because Satan actually put a lot of doubts when I got up from that dream. The first thing I said to my husband was, "Darling, I saw Jesus." And he smiled, "Really? You saw Jesus?" So anyway, after that encounter, Satan put a lot of blasphemous thoughts, doubts, confusion in my heart. Okay, and oh well, you're crazy. You're just crazy. It was not really Jesus. It was not. It was probably somebody wanted to what you call distract you from the religion, from Islam. Da 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 da. All of these thoughts came actually to my mind, which Satan put in my. So what happened? The Lord put into my heart to search for His pictures. Believe it or not, He put in my heart. So go search for the picture if maybe you can find the picture, the same Jesus. So I did. So I looked online and Jesus Christ. I'm looking for pictures of Jesus Christ, and everything come is all that the other Jesus with the different shape. One picture suddenly appeared in front of my eyes, and I was like, "This is it. This is him. This is him. This is Jesus Christ. I know this face. I know this face." For the people that they ask, how does he look? How does so maybe Jesus Christ can come to you in different. Sometimes he comes to me in just bright golden light. Like the sun is in front of my eyes. So he can come in different glories. But when I saw that picture, I was shocked. The same face of Jesus Christ, the same eyes, the same face. So I searched. I said, what is behind that picture? And I found that the picture is actually the portrait of Jesus Christ. The name of the portrait is the Prince of Peace, and it was pictured. It was painted by eight years old little girl, a Ukrainian little girl named Akiane. I'm not sure if I pronounce it right. Akiane Kramaric. I don't know if you search that. Bring it. Akiane Kramaric had an encounter with the Lord, and the Lord gave her extraordinary talent. And she's a very she has a lot of beautiful painting, and she painted the face of Jesus Christ. As soon as I saw that face, I said, "This is him. This is the same Jesus that came to me." I again say probably I don't know. I've heard testimonies of other Muslims. It can come to you as light, but this is what amazed me because I had all of these doubts, and then I see the picture of Jesus Christ somewhere. You know what I mean? So the Prince of Peace is the name of the portrait, and it is painted by Akiane Kamari. Another thing, still, I had doubts. Still, Satan injected doubts and thoughts into me, And I was like, oh, well, how about even if that picture is not true, you know? So anyway, this is the end of every debate that I'm gonna tell you and everybody. This is the end. So notice that Islam is not the truth, and Quran is not from the true God, and Mohammed is in hell. Anyway.
I'm into that. Well, thank you very much, sister. We are going to continue with our topic, if you don't mind, and we are happy for you. We are happy for you that you become a follower of the Messiah.
Yes.
And
So
the Lord imaged how he looked like is not important, for he humbled himself and he took the image of a man. So
yes,
this is the humble image of the humble Messiah. Otherwise, the glory of the Messiah is impossible to see.
exactly.
And what's important for us is not how the Messiah looked like, is how the Messiah is. The Messiah is love. The Messiah is just. The Messiah is fair. The Messiah is Savior. And all other qualification is not a qualification for anything. Muhammad, he said that a prophet of God, he have to have two things: beautiful face and a nice voice. And I wonder how Muhammad looked like, because as I know, he was not good looking. So Muhammad, obviously, he think that he is a good looking, and he think he have a beautiful voice, but I don't think so.
His voice was very good.
And if this is the case, there's a lot of celebrity. They are famous because they have both. They have a beautiful face and beautiful voice, but they are satanic. So anyway, thank you very much, sister. God bless you, and we are happy for you. And I hope soon we will hear good news about your husband, that he accepted the Messiah and he is not.
He converted right away.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's good.
He just, yes, I mean, by my testimony, by that dream, because after that, the Lord delivered me from demons or evil spirits, and he worked with me. He didn't just come to my dream and leave, And after he delivered me, he baptized me with Holy Spirit and fire. Those are all the separated testimonies. And so my husband was really in awe, and he just right away he just became a believer in Christ, and now both of us are born again Christians.
Well, happy for your sister and for your husband.
I'm not prideful. I want to tell you that I'm nobody and nothing, and I'm just dust. I'm dust. I'm withered leaves. I'm terrible. Let me tell you, at the end, I'm the most terrible sinners on earth. I'm the most wretched one.
Well, you are somebody, obviously. The Lord, he came to you, so you are somebody for sure. So take it as this.
I'm just a sinner. People.
Yeah, but he just came for you. But he came for you, sister. He came for you. You see, you are nobody. You are nobody. But for the Lord, he cares for us, all of us. So maybe we are nobody, but he knows us, each one of us, by his name. So by your name, you will be called in the day of judgment. So you are somebody, and it doesn't matter how much important you are for somebody, but for the Lord, all of us, we are important. And because we are important, he might be happy with us or angry with us because we are important. If we are nobody, he will not care. But because we are important, and that including the Muslims, the Buddhists, the Hindus, the atheists, because we are important, there's a penalty and there's a reward. Thank you very much, sister. God bless you.
So much for letting me share this testimony, and I pray that everybody encounter the Lord. And I really pray that this testimony encourage Muslims, especially, and everybody watching this video. And I really appreciate for letting me talk, Siti. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
You're welcome.
Brother.
Take care. Bye-bye. When the Muslim, they make fun of somebody leave Islam, like I heard Muslims speaking about converting to Islam. And I found these stories. I mean, I cannot really judge what a person he is saying, but I can judge by the knowledge. I mean, a person, a human being, can experience many things. Can experience illusion. Can experience seeing a normal dream, and he think it's real. There is many things, but there is things, if they happened, and they have a positive impact in your life, and more things to come. As an example, if I see Jesus in a dream, and then I decide to take my gun and start shooting people, so what Jesus did to me? What does Jesus did to me? Nothing. But if Jesus appeared to me and he made me a better person, then the one who's asking for a proof, I have a proof. The proof is that he made me a better person. So how I know that he is Jesus or not? The Messiah which I know, he is the Lord of ethic, the Lord of dignity, the Lord of love and forgiveness. So if he misled me, if this person I saw in a dream, he misled me to be violent, to be evil, to be hatred, to be a cheater, then obviously this is not the Messiah. It doesn't matter how good looking he is. So here the question to the Muslims. Why when somebody convert to Islam, he become evil, violent, and a terrorist? And why when a terrorist convert to Christianity, he can become peaceful, very nice, and very useful human being? Any Muslim can explain to us? You will find that every single person who convert to Islam, hatred enter his heart immediately. What is the secret? Any Muslim can tell me? You know, Paul, he was a person who is full of hatred. To whom? To Christ and to Christians. He hate them. He want to chase them. He's going after them. Paul, the same person who was full of hatred, he become full of love and passionate for the one who he hate. So what made Paul change, and what made all those people who convert to Christ changed? And why when somebody convert to Islam, he become a terrorist and violent, hatred? If you can explain to me, feel free. You know, when the Muslim, he says, how you know that you did not see this? Maybe this is the devil. But we have reference from the Muslim books saying that the devil came to Muhammad in image of an angel. Is that correct, guys? Anyone remember what we're talking about? Shaitan, his name is Al-Abyad. He came to Muhammad in the image of Jibreel. And he gave Muhammad satanic verses. This is in your books. So your prophet himself, he was misled in your books by a shaitan, who his name is Al-Abyad, and this shaitan, he can come in the image of Jibreel. So how you Muslim can trust that Muhammad ever he saw an angel? If it is so easy for shaitan to come to you in the image of Jibreel, and this is what he did to Muhammad himself. This is what he did to Muhammad himself. I'm not talking about you seeing a dream now. I'm talking about real person. His name is Al-Abyad. He is a shaitan, and he come to Muhammad. Let me show you the reference, so you don't say I'm making things up. All right. We will translate together. This is a book called At-Tafsir al-Kabir. And here it says, from Ibn Abbas, that a shaitan who came, his name is Al-Abyad, he came to Muhammad in the image of Jibreel, and he gave him satanic verses. And then the real Jibreel, he came to Muhammad, and he said to him, I did not give you this.
May God protect them both. In the narration of Atah, a devil called the White One came to him in the form of Gabriel, peace be upon him, and gave him this word, so he recited
Why
it.
the sound is not
When
coming?
the polytheists heard that, they liked it, so Gabriel, peace be upon him, came and reviewed it, so he recited it. When he reached that word, Gabriel, peace be upon him, said, I did not bring you this. The messenger of God, may God bless him and grant him peace, said, he came to me to come in your image and put it on my tongue. The second way, some ignorant people said, because he, peace be upon him, was so keen on the faith of the people, he introduced this word of his own accord and then retracted it. These two statements are not desired by a Muslim at all. Because the first requires that he, peace be upon him, did not distinguish between the infallible king and the malicious Satan, and the second requires that he was a traitor in the revelation, and each of them is a deviation from the religion.
Do you see, Muslims? The Muslims are saying now, if this is really what happened to Muhammad, that means Muhammad is a false prophet. He could not even recognize between the real angel and the fake angel. And now, is this a story? Is it real? Well, as you see, the one who is reporting this story is the companion of Muhammad himself. Shaitan, he come to Muhammad in the image of Gabriel and gave Muhammad satanic verses. Any Muslim have a comment? Anyone? Where was Allah when Shaitan, as the Quran says, he throws satanic verses in the mouth of Muhammad? He was asleep. And if the Quran nobody can make like it, how come Shaitan was able to make Quran like it and even better? To the point, Muhammad himself, he could not recognize the difference. Anyone? Mayday, do we have any Muhammadan would like to join us? Anyone? From those who they are making mockery in YouTube, why you don't jump here? Did your prophet receive satanic verses? Can you deny what the Quran says? Any Muhammadan? No? I told you many times, Muslims, I like to convert to Islam because I am so much interested in the wisdom of your God, Allah. especially when he sent verses for breastfeeding for adult. I became so interested. All my life I like milk. And if I can get it for free, I mean, how in the world I will say no? And look, this is the leader of Hizb Allah is giving free ticket to Jerusalem. So look, I convert to Islam, I will do mut'ah, and I will fly for free to Jerusalem in the top of a flying mule. Who can say no? Do you see the ticket? You see the ticket Nasrallah is giving to the Shia in Beirut? This is the ticket. Look, the guy is holding it in his finger. It says Palestine, Jerusalem, and in red it says ticket to Jerusalem. Underneath in Arabic it says the blood will fruit victory and we are crossing. Yeah, actually you will if you convert to Islam, first of all, there's many good things will happen to you. Number one, your penis will never go limp. So imagine you have a penis, never go limp. You have somebody knocking at your door. You open the door and you have a penis, excuse me, and your penis, it just coming in his face. So, I mean, what kind of a prophet he said those things? Your penis will never go limp. Like, what the heck? Oh boy. Muhammad, Muhammad, he say things. They must be true. They must be true. And then Allah will import for you women who have nice breast and nice vagina. Let me see if I can get you the hadith. Maybe some of you will convert to Islam. Let us see this one here. The Muslim, they will say Christian Prince. It doesn't say that, CP. Christian Prince, you are lying. Christian Prince, you are lying. It doesn't say that, CP. Let us see what it says, what it does not say. This is Tafsir al-Suyuti. Who? Al-Suyuti. الدر المنثور. And here it says the following. Let us see. Actually, I will give you all the, yeah, here we go. Let me translate this one for you first. Listen carefully.
The Messenger of God, may God's prayers and peace be upon him, said, there is no one whom God will admit to paradise except that he marries 72 wives, 2 of the beautiful fairies and 70 of his inheritance from the people of paradise. There is not a single one of them except that she has a delicious kiss, and he has a male that does not diminish.
The English translation is funny. Your penis will never diminish, Abdul. So actually what the hadith is saying, that Allah will bring you women, they are coming from hell. And those women, they have a special features. They have very nice, beautiful boobs. Like the one, like if the women she walk, like they make like boing, 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 like boing, boing. Not like those, like, no, those are, they bounce, they big bounce. So this is your religion. Actually, all this page here, let me pause this page for you. You can translate it. All of it is about sex. All of it. It's about how you will, excuse my language, how you will F your wives in heaven. All the page here. This hadith here actually, it says the women, her butt will be 1 mile. Which is not really, a good size for me.
Each one of them takes her seat as far as a mile.
Google translate maqadaha as a seat. Maqada, the maqadatul mar'a, it's her butt. So imagine you will have a wife, her butt is 1 mile. That's so beautiful. But what Allah will lose if He make it bigger? The bigger the better. Let us be honest here. Size does matter in Islam, obviously.
The lowest status of the people of paradise is the one who has 7 levels, and he is at the 6th level, and above him is the 7th, and he has 300 servants, and he receives lunch and rest every day with 300 plates of gold, each plate having a color that is not in the other, and he will enjoy the beginning of it just as he enjoys the end of it, and he will say, O Lord, if only you have given me permission to feed the people of paradise and give them drink. Nothing is diminished from what I have. He has 72 wives among the beautiful fair maidens, and each one of them takes her seat as far as a mile, pages 215, from the earth.
Hey Muslims, you would eat 300 dishes a day. Why not 301? Like, is the supply limited? So all of you Muslims, you will eat the same number of dishes. What if somebody like to eat more, or somebody don't like to eat much? All of you will eat exactly the same number of dishes. Is falafel included? Anyone did use Google translation to translate this page? If somebody can post it for people in YouTube, please. I posted in Ramble already. You can use Google translation. All the page is about how you will F women and how, look at this one. Oh boy. Let us see actually if we can find it in English. I think it's there. The Muslims in some website, they say to you this is da'if, but as you see, this is the interpretation of the Quran. They are not saying this is da'if, and they accept it for sure. This is why they are mentioning this, here. In fact, look at this one here. And this is in a Tirmidhi, and this is Sahih. It says, the slave of Allah, which means any Muslim, he in the heaven, he will have 70 women. So they said to him, O Messenger of Allah, can he do that? Which means, can he handle 70 women? So Muhammad, he says, Allah will give him the power of 100. Anyone notice what happened here now? Anyone notice how stupid Muhammad is? Seriously. Hey Muslim, did you notice how stupid Muhammad is? So look what happened. Muhammad, he is saying you will get 70 women in heaven. And when they say, oh Messenger of Allah, can he handle that number? He said he will get the power of 100. That means still the guy is not satisfied. Correct? Because he have the power of 100, but Allah gave him 72 or 70.
May God's prayers and peace be upon him. He said, a servant may marry 70 wives in paradise. It was said, O Messenger of God, can he tolerate it? He said, he is given the strength of 100.
Oh boy. Look at this one here. This is the one about the bones. Actually, this page here, by the way, is very good because it have a lot of reference about heaven of Islam and sex and their shit. Like as an example, the Muslim in heaven, they don't do shit. They don't even have semen. So how they would have orgasm? Muslims, how you would have 70 years orgasm, but you don't have semen? So your orgasm is without semen? Are you a Muslim, Fariza? Do we have any Muslim? Did you guys use the translation to translate this page? This is how stupid this cult is. Look at this one here. This one is really something. I don't know if I can find it for you in English, but let me try first. Because here it says that you in the heaven, you will if 4,000 virgin and 8,000 non-virgin and 100 hur. Let me see if I can find you this. And I don't think I can find it in English, but we will try. Obviously, no. Let us go back there. Let us translate.
Abu al-Sheikh and Abu Nu'aym narrated in Safat al-Jannah on the authority of Ibn Abi Aufa, who said, the Messenger of God, may God's prayers and peace be upon him, said, every man from the people of paradise will be married off to 4,000 virgins, 8,000 female slaves, and 100 female maidens, and they will gather every 7 days and say in beautiful voices, why? He hears the creatures with their example, we are the immortal ones, so we will not perish. We are the soft ones, so we will not be distressed. We are the ones who are satisfied, so we will not be displeased. We are the ones who are eternal, so we will not be lost. Blessed is he who is ours and we are his.
So what is the total? See guys, here we go. Now today you got a new number. Forget about the 72, the 100. Here, 4,000 female, they are virgins. 8,000, they are not. Fariza, go ahead. Your mic. Fariza, are you there? Hello? And the funny, they will meet every 7 days. They will have a party. I mean, that's something, man. Every 7 days. What is the total? Are you there, Mohammedans? Anyone? Hello? Fariza, are you there? Okay, Fariza, take a hike. You don't want to talk? What we will do with you? Any Muhammadan? Mayday, Mayday. No Muslims, huh? Maybe the Muslims now, they are busy with the 7,000, 4,000. 4,000 virgin. 8,000 non-virgin. 100 whore. I mean, why only 100 whore? Hey, Muslims, is that fair? Honestly, this is, seriously, this is not fair. Only 100 whore? I'm really unpleased with this. Mayday, Mayday. Nobody? You will notice how the numbers change. Muhammad, he cannot even keep his numbers fixed. Muhammadan, anyone? Well, look like the Muslims are not happy with their God and his teaching. Oh boy. Last call for Muslims. Anyone want to come to the mic? People on YouTube, did you receive the link? The link we are showing the screen? I believe this is very important link actually for you to have. Look here, it says. I mean, look, guys, look at the numbers. Everyone gave his own numbers. Like here, Al-Bayhaqi in the book of Al-Ba'ath saying that the Messenger of Allah said that the man in the heaven, he will marry to 5,000 hur, 4,000 virgins, and 8,000 non-virgin. And he will be kissing each one of them equal to his life on earth. This is how long the kiss.
The messenger of God, may God bless him and grant him peace, said, a man from the people of paradise will marry 500 maidens, 4,000 virgins, and 8,000 married women, hugging each of them for the length of his life in this world.
What? You will be hugging them. You will be kissing the women for the same length of your life. So if somebody lived for 100 years, each French kiss will be 100-year kiss. This is just the kiss alone. Are you with me, Muslims? This is just the kiss alone. And yeah, Abdul. So here you notice the number changed, and now it become what? I mean, the hadith after it is saying different number. The hadith before it's saying different number. Why Islamic heaven have many different numbers? Because obviously Muhammad is a fraud. He don't remember what he said yesterday, and now he is adding more numbers. "4,000 women or 5,000 women who they are virgins." In this hadith, actually, the last one we showed you, it says 5,000 women. Oh, hold on. There's other hadith. Let me show you this one. I mean, what is wrong with this guy? There's even a hadith says 500 numbers. Well, let's see, where is the 500? Here it says 500 virgin, hur, sorry, 4,000 virgin, and 8,000 non-virgin.
A man from the people of paradise will marry 500 maidens, 4,000 virgins, and 8,000 married women.
Married women. Here, the number is different. Look at this. Is it the same religion? If it is the same religion, why do they have different numbers? This is a stupid website. You have to do it fast, you know.
Every man from the people of paradise will be married off to 4,000 virgins, 8,000 female slaves, and 100 maidens, and they will gather together every 7 days.
The number here is different. The hadith after it, the number is different too. So every hadith has different number. and they can oppose each other totally. Any Muhammadan? People on YouTube, did you receive the link we are showing the screen? Did somebody give you a shortened link so you can save the reference? Because this link here actually, this is a book actually here, but it have a lot of reference about sex in the heaven of Islam. By the way, As-Suyuti, as I know, there's no link. Okay, let me shorten the link for you. Give me a second. Link. All right. Here we go. This is the link for people on YouTube, because I posted the link already in Rambo. People in Discord, you received the link too? Did any of you did save it? Okay. This is the link again, and I will give it in one more in Rambo. And as you see, Muslims who are not making things up, this is your reference. This is your books, this is your prophet statement, the page number there, the book name there, everything you want. Yes, Mira.
I'm an ex-Muslim from Indonesia.
All right.
I wanna talk about the slavery.
You want to talk about what? Slavery?
Slavery, sex slavery.
But why you left Islam, Mira? Why you left?
So disgusting to me.
Why you left Islam?
Huh?
Why you left Islam?
I have trauma when I was 18 years old.
You have what?
Because trauma. I have trauma.
I could not understand. You were what? Trauma. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanna talk about sex slavery in Islam.
All right.
That mentioned in the hadith.
All right. So,
Sahih Muslim. The book of suckling, Sahih Muslim. I forgot what the number.
Okay.
It's about war in the Autas.
Autas, okay.
Because that is so disgusting to me, because you can sex with older people wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about that. That is so traumatizing. Imagine if your wife being F by a bunch of gangster, like
yeah, this is what happened. Muhammad and his gang, they kidnap the wives of other neighbors and they start raping them. You are right. And they are even family members, they are even relatives, they are even their cousins. They took their wives and they raped them. You are right. Gang. All right, Mira, thank you very much, my friend, for coming and speaking about this topic. Guys, I'm not going to stay longer here. Already I'm here for many hours today. So if you are a person who is interested to receive a free ticket from Hizb Allah to go to Jerusalem, just let me know. I will call Hizb Allah leader in his basement, which is only Allah knows where it is. He is giving you a ticket, but he himself don't dare to fly. He himself, he don't dare to take a taxi. He himself, he don't dare even to walk with his wife in the street. But he want to send you free ticket to Jerusalem. You know, I have a message to Nasrallah. You are so cute. Listen, potatoes, all of you Muslims. Jerusalem is just a distance of a rock from you. I mean, if you throw a rock, it will arrive in Jerusalem. Who of you dare to take the ticket of Hizb Allah and come to Jerusalem? We invite you all. If you could not make this ticket valid in the coming 100 years, that means your ticket is really for the long, long, long term. It is the ticket of Allah. So I found what Hizb Allah is doing is very hilarious. It's a sign of weakness and stupidity. You do not need to give a ticket. Israel is there. It's just in the border of you. If you are a man, you claim you have 100,000 fighters. Iran is a country of 100 million almost. So Israel is a country of a few millions. So they should not be a match for you anyway. Yet you are terrified and you don't dare to say what you to do, or to do what you say and to say what to do. So making speeches doesn't make you a hero, make you laughable, make you a joke. And obviously, they are just fooling people, giving false promises about victory of the future against Israel. And the Shia, obviously, the Iran, they are using Israel as a way to spread Shiaism. I don't think Iran ever would dare to attack Israel. The Iranian regime, they announced the end of Israel just 2 days ago. The end, that's it, the end. And I keep hearing this end since I was a kid. The end of Israel is tomorrow. And tomorrow never come. And 2 days ago, they announced again the end, and now they are giving ticket to go to Jerusalem. So Muslims, when the end of Israel will happen? A question, I will leave it for you. Thank you all for being here. May the Lord bless you. I apologize I can't stay longer because my voice is getting tired, you can tell. And I will try to come here tomorrow if I could. Until then, God is good, so is Jesus. And Islam is nothing but a scam. Thank you very much.